it's wrong to have any sexual needs, wants, and desires, even to think about it. And when guys suppress this natural, let me say that again, natural part of us, and society tells us, mustn't think about sex, mustn't think about porn, mustn't think about masturbation, mustn't think about another girl, another person. When people keep reinforcing that, it then starts to develop and strengthen shame. And the shame is a belief that I'm wrong, I'm flawed, there's something very disturbed about me. And when this is exacerbated, when this is amplified, when we internalize shame because we can't talk about this. So in our culture, in society, and again, I've raised in a culture where, you can't talk about sex openly. You can't talk about masturbation. You cannot talk about desires. That's forbidden. It's taboo. It's wrong. When you're raised in that kind of environment, some are raised in a very extreme environment with extreme consequences, extreme cult-like behavior. Then you are going to internalize this and there's no way out. And the only way out for a natural wants and desires is addiction. There's a really good book on this by John Bradshaw. It's called Healing the Shame Within. And when guys then start to suppress about their needs and wants and desires, it will come out in addiction to porn, addiction to masturbation, addiction in other ways, maybe alcohol, drugs, gambling, whatever it is, it'll come out. And that's because we're so disconnected, so fractured. There's a huge fracture from our own natural self. And this coaching session was important because what it allowed him to do was, when we went through the process, when I went through deep process and we went through some hypnosis and we went through some real finding out some real beliefs that he was holding on to. And then when he started to release something that he's not released in decades, that he's been holding on, the burden, the shame, the embarrassment, the disgust that he's been holding on for a long time. When he started to release all that, he used the word, I feel liberated. And when we have really heavy, strong shame, the biggest symptom of this is perfectionism. Because shame is, I don't want to I'm flawed, I'm wrong, there's something ill about me, I'm unlovable, I'm unworthy, I'm not good enough. All of these are shame, kind of like ruminating thoughts that we will have. And the action is addiction. So in order to overcompensate for that high level of shame, we will become perfectionist, or our habits and tasks are perfectionist. Is either it's perfect or I don't do it. And a lot of guys are going towards not being I'm not going to attempt to go out dating. I'm not going to go and attempt to escalate in sexual attraction. I'm not going to go and ask for a number. I'm not going to do anything unless it's going to be perfect. What overcoming shame means is that every process that you will do, it's okay to be messy. It's okay to make mistakes, get it wrong. The ego is so fractured that it has to be perfect. And when it has to be perfect, that means this high level of shame. So when we just can relax, and that's the most important thing that you will notice, is that I can't relax when my perfectionism is high, when my shame is high. So the moment we start to relax and know the fact that I can be messy, I can make a mistake, and a woman will still love me. I can make a mistake, I can get things wrong, and I can still succeed at work. It doesn't have to be perfect. Look at sports athletes. They make mistakes often, but they can still win. You can still make mistakes. When we have high shame, high perfectionism, we don't trust ourselves. We don't trust the fact that we can recover from making mistakes and then recorrect. Because shame, perfectionism requires us to get it right on the go. The first hit has to be perfect. But we don't get perfect that way. We don't improve that way by just on the off. And we can't think ourselves into perfection. We have to practice. We have to make mistakes. Seduction, attraction, relationships, work, whatever it is, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to fumble. Sometimes you won't get the results. I love the saying, I never lose. Either I win or I learn. Trust me, I've done a lot of learning. That's the difference between a master and a disaster. A master has made more mistakes than anybody else. And that's how you'll master your life, master things in your life, is just by making constant mistakes and reevaluating, relearning. So let go of perfectionism, trust and have the confidence that you can come back, and you might not get the results straight away, but that's patience. And let's get rid of that entitlement thinking and know that fact that I'm going to be able to handle myself and keep reapproaching. So we've got to build that muscle. So the best way to overcome shame is, one, make sure that you're able to talk about this. That's healing the shame. We've got to give light to it. And then knowing the fact that it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. Life doesn't have to be perfect. We can enjoy life. We can experience life without perfectionism. And that's how you start to heal shame. If you need more help, need more support, more guidance, I suggest you speak to someone about shame. You can always reach out to me. I help a lot of guys who are single, struggling, and who become avoidant because of the shame and their perfectionism, and then are emotionally able to connect and create amazing connections and relationships, not just with romantic relationships, with their kids, with other people in life, and really start to enjoy life. If you've got any problems, you can reach out to me or reach out to someone who can really help you with shame and perfectionism, because that will keep you in a really bad state of fracture. And we need to start to integrate those fractures. When you start to integrate that, you're okay with the good and the bad. Okay, stay charismatic.